Hello everyone, I'm so glad that you all checked back in on my channel today. I've got a really neat recipe that I'm going to make today. I've never made it before. I sort of saw on the internet a meal that was sort of similar to this with the cream potatoes and the meat inside. But I got to thinking, I thought, I think I can make that just one notch better. So we are going, I don't even know what to call it. Maybe I might name this recipe roast stuffed rosemary potatoes. I don't know. After you watch this, if you guys and gals want to comment what we can name this recipe, I'll take any suggestions at all. So make sure that you hit that like button and that subscribe button. Go ahead and do it now and help me think of an actual name for this dish. How's that? But what we're going to do, this dish, I'm going to make potatoes, mashed potatoes, not fully creamy potatoes like you would put on the table to serve. I need them a certain consistency because I'm going to season and cook this roast in, this is about a 1.5 pound roast, which is the perfect size for Danny and I. I'm going to cook this in my Instapot, or pressure cooker. I always say Instapot, in my pressure cooker. And get it really good and tender. And then I'm going to chop it up, okay? Have that set to the side. So there's my roast. My potatoes, I'm going to use, 3 red potatoes. I'm going to cut them up and I'll just boil them. I'll put a little bit of butter, just a dab of butter in those. And maybe a little salt and pepper. Mash them up, let them get, not cold, but cool down. So I want my potatoes sort of stiff, okay? Once the meat is done, I've got it chopped up. Oh, I'm going to cook my rosemary. I'm gonna chop that up and mix that when I go to mash my potatoes. This is some of my fresh rosemary from my backyard. I'm gonna chop that up and I'm gonna put that and mix that in with my potatoes, okay? So we've got those nice seasoned potatoes. We've got our roast that's gonna be seasoned. It's gonna be chopped up really fine. I'm gonna shred some white cheddar cheese. And once I get this little dish put together in a nice little pocket, I'm going to dip it in an egg and roll it in some breadcrumbs and fry it in the skillet. So let's get started. Like I said, you need to think and help me figure out a name for this. But I think it's really going to be good, and I'm going to pair it tonight with a good fresh salad for Danny and I. So let's get started by putting our roast in the pressure cooker, okay? Okay, now that it is seared on both sides, I'm going to just turn my saute mode off, okay? It's off, and I'm going to add just 1 cup of water. You can add beef stock or beef broth if you would like. I'm just gonna add water, okay? So my pressure, let me turn it around maybe this way where you can see it. My outlet's on this side, okay. There we go. So I have my saute mode off. Now I'm going to make sure everything is set up on my pressure cooker. Okay, so I'm going to lock it in, and then I'm gonna come around here and I'm gonna set it for beef. and I'm going to set my timer. I want this certain piece of meat. I'm gonna let it, set it for it to pressure for 1 hour because I want it super duper tender, okay? 1 hour, there we go. And we're gonna let this set and then come to pressure, and then it's going to pressurize for 1 hour. And then after it pressurizes for 1 hour and it kicks off and it goes into the warming mode, I'm gonna let it do a natural pressure release. I can't talk today. A natural pressure release for about 20 minutes. You always wanna do that with your meat, not so much with your vegetables, but with your meat, because it does help tenderize it more. So I'm gonna let that set for about 20 minutes, and then I will take the meat out and let it sort of set for a little bit, and then I'll chop it up. So while our meat is in the pressure cooker, I'm going to go ahead and get my potatoes diced up and let them cook, because when I mash them, I want them to really sort of come to room temperature before I do the filling of the roast beef and the cheese. So let's let this cook and let's get started on our potatoes, okay? Okay, so my roast has about 25 minutes left to pressurize. I have my potatoes over there boiling with some rosemary in it, and I made my salad. So I'm gonna go ahead and whip up a little bit of homemade ranch dressing. And the ranch dressing that I'm gonna make, I normally make it with buttermilk, but I do have some kefir. I'm trying to bring that more into my diet. Mine and Danny's diet's really good, has good probiotics. So I'm gonna make my ranch dressing with kefir today. I buy this at the store, I don't make it. I'm not even gonna go there, but I do enjoy this store-bought brand that I get. Let me see what kind it is. It is Lifeway. I think I get that at Walmart. So it's really good. I do enjoy the dressings that we make with that. So to make this dressing, I'm just going to, I like to use mason jars, and I have this little flip top lid. So in order to do this, I'm going to put in a half a cup of kefir. Like I said, it has really, really good probiotics. So if I need to start doing more of that, and I am, with some changes in my diet, and I really do enjoy this dressing. And Danny enjoys it too. He would be the one that would be more picky when it comes to things like that, but he's really good at it. And then this, I'm gonna go ahead and use avocado mayonnaise. So we're gonna put a half a cup of that in there, and it's equal parts of your kefir or your buttermilk, and then your mayonnaise. So I'm gonna put a half a cup of this, and that's gonna finish that bottle. I gotta go get another one. Okay, so we've got a half a cup of our mayonnaise. We're going to drop that in our mason jar, and this will keep it doesn't stay in our refrigerator not even a week, because I try and do a salad with every meal. It's a good way for us to get our fresh raw veggies. So this doesn't last in our house not even a week, but I would say you can keep it up to 2 weeks. That's what I would think. I would feel safe doing it if I had it in my refrigerator for 2 weeks. I would use it then. After that, I probably would go ahead and toss it. But it's really delicious, and you might find that it doesn't stay in your fridge as well. Okay, so we've got our half a cup of kefir, our half a cup of mayonnaise. And like I said, you can use any mayonnaise you want. I use an avocado mayonnaise, and I enjoy that, so that's what I'm using. Okay, I'm going to take a half of a teaspoon of some garlic that I minced. Okay, and let's see here, the juice of 1 lemon. Put that in there. I am going to add a teaspoon of chives. And if you have any of these spices in your garden, that'd be great. I do have dill, but I don't have parsley. So I'm going to use some of my dried. Okay, so we're going to go with a teaspoon of parsley. And we're also going to go with a teaspoon of onion powder. Go with a little bit of salt and pepper. Fresh cracked pepper. And I normally will use my, I have one of those emulsifiers, and it's got a little whisk on attachment, and so that's what I normally do. But I'm going to try today maybe and shake it up or just whisk it by hand. So I'm going to put a little pinch of salt and some fresh cracked pepper. Now, I've got fresh dill that I went outside and picked, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my kitchen shears, and I'm just going to cut it off like that. I had over the weekend, I went outside after we'd had one of our granddaughter's birthday parties, and I think it was a raccoon. I thought it was a squirrel that had tipped my pot of dill over. And ate some birdseed. Well, I go out there today and I know it's a raccoon because I saw its paw prints. Too big to be a squirrel. And it had started digging in some of my pots, so I got a feeling me and the old coon are gonna go round and round. I would feed it and love on it if it would let me and not damage my property, but I don't want it damaging my property, so it needs to move on down the highway. But I guess that's what you get for living in the country, huh? Okay, so I've got my fresh dill. I'm gonna go ahead, you can put this in a blender if you want to. Like I said, I have my emulsifier, or whatever you call it, and it's got an attachment, but I'm not gonna get all that out today. It's just as quick. Yeah, so you can stir it like that a little bit just to get it going, and then just put a lid on it. Whoa! Didn't have the lid on that, but it sure is good. Oh my gosh. Okay, make sure that your lid is on there, and yeah, shake. Just shake it and mix it up, and you have some homemade ranch dressing with kefir in my case. Excellent, good probiotics. It will be wonderful on your salad. So, yeah, I'm gonna get off here and I'm going to clean up my mess, and I'll get back on here in a little bit and we'll finish the rest of our supper. Okay, so our potatoes are done. I've cleaned up my ranch dressing mess on the side of my dishwasher. So I'm gonna bring you guys down here and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do these mashed potatoes. So let's get started on that. I'm gonna let these cool and let my roast finish. And when we get back on here, we are going to form these little wonderful pockets of goodness. Okay, we're back, and my roast, I went through the whole process of letting it pressurize for an hour and then let it come to a natural pressure release for 20 minutes. I took it out of my pressure cooker and I just tinted it with some foil. Okay, so I've got my assembly line set up, and I went ahead and tried to make one, and I've got it right here. So I am going to show you how we do this. So I've got my potatoes here. Remember, we said we needed them cold and not real creamy. Okay, so I've got me a little, enough to fit the palm of my hand of a potato, and I'm gonna sort of push my finger down like that. Okay, I've got a little bit of my roast. See, we chop those into smaller pieces so you won't, when you bite into it, you won't have a huge piece. Okay, so we've got our roast. I've got a little bit of white shredded cheese. You can use sliced cheese as well with it. Okay, so now we've got this little cup made. Now I'm going to get another spoonful, put it on top, get that piece there, and then just start forming this into a little ball. You want to close up those edges, see, to keep that roast and that cheese in there. Okay, so we have two right here that are done. Now let's come over here with our assembly line. I've got my skillet here. I've got some coconut oil that has melted in my iron skillet. And I'm gonna take this, I'm going to dip it in egg. I'm gonna set it over here in my breadcrumbs. And you can use plain breadcrumbs or seasoned breadcrumbs, or even add your seasoning to it. I'm just using plain. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure I've got that coated in the breadcrumbs. See? Might go back and do another little coat. There. Okay, now here's the true test. Let's see how this works, okay? Okay, there's one. Let's get our other one that I did right before I come on. I was afraid that maybe I needed to add a little flour to the potatoes, but I didn't. That's because I didn't get them like super creamy. Okay, so we're dipping that in the egg, in the breadcrumbs. Go around the sides. What do you think, Danny? Does it look like it's gonna be good?
Looks delicious to me.
Okay, we're gonna set that in there. There we go. I'm gonna let this cook probably for about 3 minutes or so. Okay. These have cooked for about 3 minutes on this first side. So now I'm going to go over and gently, oh, look at those. Gently turn those. I want to get that grease splattering. Now I'm going to let these cook for about another 3 minutes on this side. Okay, here are our fried potato pockets with roast beef. I don't know, like I said, I need all of my friends out there to give me some ideas on what to name this. So I have 3 of these fried up, and I'm going to go ahead and just top it. They're very hot. Top it with a little bit more roast beef on top, just to give it a little extra something. And top it with a little more white cheddar cheese. Yeah, Danny, get in here and get close to it, and then I'll have you taste test it for me. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put just a little bit, just for pretty, garnish it with a little bit of parsley. And you can serve this with Gosh, you could serve it with horseradish. I bet that would really be good. But let me show you, and then I'm gonna let Danny do a taste test. When you cut this open, okay, you got that crunchy outside, then you've got the roast beef and the melted cheese inside that little potato pocket. So, Danny, put the camera down, and you come over here and you taste test it.
Ready for this.
We're gonna have this tonight with our the salad that I made and some applesauce, homemade applesauce. Look at that. It's hot.
See that steam cut off there?
Is that good?
That's delicious.
Is it really?
Yeah, it really is. Not another bite, I'm gonna give you another bite.
Come over here. Maybe I might not be able to see you enjoy it so much.
Oh my
and then
gosh.
that melted cheese on top.
Woo!
So now, you know, I made 3 potatoes. That's what I diced up today. Now I've got way more roast.
Good job. Good job.
Is it good, really?
Yep,
Yeah.
it is.
I've got way more roast than what I needed. So this right here, 3 potatoes is enough for 2 people. I'll eat 1, Danny will eat 1, well, probably the other one as well. So I still have plenty of roast left over. So if you were going to make this for, let's say 4 to 6 people, I probably would end up, a good rule of thumb, the potatoes that I used were about that size. You saw the red potatoes. Consider 3, just to estimate high, consider 3 potatoes per 2 people. So that's 1.5 pounds roast, so you can add some more potatoes to it. And yeah, this turned out really actually better than I thought it would. So I'm super excited about it. And like I said, I think I might take a bite. Oh, that is good.
Yeah, it is.
It's very good. So you got you some, excuse me, some meat and potatoes here. So help me, send me comments on a good name for this recipe, because I really don't know what to name it. I'm at a loss right now. So I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video, and if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe. I put out 1 to 2 videos every week, and I would love to have you guys join on, and let's cook some healthy, homemade, simple recipes. So until next time, my friends, be safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.